So welcome to everybody who just joined OUCRU. I see that some of you are not new to OUCRU. I see Ken and Rod here. Uh, you're welcome if you need a refresher for the communication induction. This is mainly an introduction about OUCRU communication team, communication assets, and what we can do for you. And these are the resources that are available to everybody that works at OUCRU. So for this induction, I'm going to go over, first of all, an introduction of our team, our brand, the OUCRU brand, our social media policy, our press policy, our digital assets, our website, our SharePoint, and our newsletter. And this is basically an overview of all of the OUCRU's external and internal communication channels and assets that are available to you and are managed by our team. So the first thing that I want to introduce to you is our team. So we're a very small team. We have Katrina, who is our communications manager. She is based in Ho Chi Minh City, but her role covers all three OUCRU countries and 4 units. I'm the senior communications officer. I work mainly on program-wide campaigns and activities. Eric, who is also here today, he is our internal communications officer. He's also based in Ho Chi Minh City, and he works on the internal communications assets. We have Chang, our communications officer, who is also based in Ho Chi Minh City, but she's lending a hand to OUCRU Nepal right now. We have Guy, who's based in Indonesia, and he's actually in Ho Chi Minh City this week. And he is working on policy and communications in Indonesia. And then we have Sumita, who's actually not a part of comms team. She's a public engagement officer, and has kindly lended a hand while we're hiring somebody for OUCRU Nepal. So this is our very, very small team, and we're working on all communication activities for all 3 OUCRU countries, Vietnam, Indonesia, and Nepal. So the first thing that I want to cover is why we have a communications team in the first place. So the main goal of OUCRU communication is to promote OUCRU's work. It is to enhance the impact of our organization's research and activities. So all of our communication channels, our website, our social media, our digital asset system, and other assets, we are there to help you promote your work. And we also work very closely with our partners, the press and policymakers, to enhance our work in other ways. So not just on our external communication channels, but also through events, reports, briefings, etc. The second goal of OUCRU communication is to maintain and protect OUCRU's brand. Of course, if you work at OUCRU, you know that OUCRU is a very trusted name in scientific research, not just in Vietnam, Indonesia, and Nepal, but also in Asia and across the world. And we want to make sure that that brand is consistently represented and consistently protected on all of our platforms, so that your work will remain credible. Because if OUCRU's brand is tainted in any way, then it's going to impact your work in your region. So that's a very important facet of our goal. We also provide some creative services. We can help teams produce templates, posters, and videos, and other creative assets. Some of us have varying expertise, so we have some designers, some video editors. We can produce some templates. However, you see that we are a very small team covering very big organization. So we are a bit slow in that aspect, but we can still accommodate requests. So the one thing that we want to clarify is these are the things that we actually can't help you with. So the first thing that we can't really help you with is we're actually not IT support. And Eric gets a lot of requests, and I get a lot of questions about the website. So I would get questions, oh, hey, Chi, the website's down today. Or Eric would have questions about the SharePoint or the Office suite. I can't sign into my Office suite. Unfortunately, we're not IT. We're not in charge of the server. We're not in charge of the subscription. We're just the designers or the maintenance people of the content. So if you have any IT problems, please do contact IT. They are at servicedesk@OUCRU.org, and you will get your handled very, very quickly. They're very good. The other thing that we can't really do is a quick turnaround. So sometimes we get like a request, hey, we need this by the end of the day. Unfortunately, we do have a lot of work because we do cover a large territory. So anything on demand, like if you need it by the end of the day, unfortunately, that's going to be, that's not guaranteed. And then the final thing that we want to let you know is we're not scientists. Um, we don't, none of us have any background in any science field whatsoever. We are very good at our job though. So if you want to promote your scientific work, we are very, very happy to do that. But if you want our help, please help us understand your work first, because if you send me a scientific paper and just say, hey, Chi, can you write a tweet about this? Or can you write a website article about this? If I have no idea what it means, I can't even start. I don't know where to start with the writing. So that's the other thing that I would like to reiterate is if you would like our help to promote your work, the first thing that you need to do is to help us understand your work. Because as much as I would like to spend some time doing a PhD in the scientific field, that's not an option for me right now. So the next thing I want to clarify, because we do have a very big department called public engagement, and people confuse us a lot. So this slide we developed in collaboration with public engagement team, because they also frequently get questions about communication that they can't answer. Of course, if we get a question that is related to the other team, we would happily pass it on to the other team. But this slide, we just want to make it clear that communication and public engagement are two different departments. We work with different audiences. So communication, we work mainly with a lot of external big parties like the press or funders or partners, policymakers, and wider public. And then public engagement, they work very closely with people that are closely engaged with our research projects. So we have young people, teachers, and communities. Mostly they are very, very hands-on with these audiences. Of course, like I said, the goal of the communication department is to promote our research and the output to enhance their impact. And this is the biggest difference between communication and public engagement, because public engagement exists to strengthen relationship, to amplify and inform research, and support OUCRU researchers with engaging with the communities that they're working with. However, in terms of channels, we do share the management of a lot of channels. So we have our website, we share that with public engagement, or social media, we share that with public engagement. We have a lot of partnerships that can overlap. However, communications team work very closely with the press and policy advisory boards, and then the public engagement team create a lot of events and workshops and training programs for different communities that they work with. Those are the main differences in terms of channels. So again, you don't have to memorize this list. The main key thing that we want you to know is we are two different teams. We would happily pass on any requests that we get that is related to public engagement. And similarly, public engagement would happily pass on any requests that are related to communications, but just this is just for future reference. So the second thing, very important, is the OUCRU brand. That is our logo, the colors that you see on your screen, the colors of the logo, the how our logos are represented on all of our communication channels, how our vision and mission values are represented. So our vision is to have local, regional, and global impact on health by leading a locally driven research program on infectious diseases in Southeast Asia. I would say that the key highlight of this sentence is impact and locally driven, and we try to enhance those aspects in all of our communication outputs that we share with our audiences. So our brand, if you look at our logo, the main shape of the primary symbol for the logo is this shape. And it can be interpreted in many different ways, in the shape of DNA, in the shape of bacteria, in the shape of medicine, and it's symbolic of our work. We do have three variations of the logo. We have the full color logo, the reverse logo with the blue background and the white text, and the grayscale logo. And we do use it in all of the external communication outputs that we create for all of our external and internal communication channels. And these are the ways that we don't use the OUCRU logo. We can't change any colors. We can't change the orientation. We can't add any effects to it. We can't, distort the logo or the proportions of the logo. This is, again, to protect our brand and to protect the integrity of the brand and make sure that this is recognizable on a variety of channels and to protect the meaning of the brand as well. We do have two primary partnerships. That is the Wellcome Trust, our main funder, and Oxford University. OUCRU is a part of the Nuffield Department of Medicine at the University of Oxford. So Wellcome logo and Oxford logo are accompanying most of the accompanying the OUCRU logo on most of our external and internal communication channels and outputs, and you can see there. We do have a lot of partners in the countries that we work with. For example, in Ho Chi Minh City, we work with the Hospital for Tropical Diseases, but 3 logos on a slide is, I think, too many. So for other partners, we usually represent them on the last slide. This is especially true in PowerPoint. We don't want every slide to have 10 different logos. So we usually put the secondary partnerships in the last slide when we present something. So the other concept that we just recently launched, we recently developed and launched last year, is the pattern and symbol. We use the circle motif in a lot of our designs, and that is the representation of like bacteria growth, of DNA, of infectious diseases, and we also use these OUCRU colors to represent different aspects of our work. We have health and safety and infectious diseases, which is the first blue group. organizational function, we have OUCRU blue and white. Communication, engagement, and training, we have the orange motif. Research and science, we have the green motif. And alert and warning, we have the red motif. And I'll show you the examples in a minute. And then we have this pattern which represents DNA. So it's the helix shape of DNA, and we use alternating colors in our design. So in this slide, it's going to load in a little bit. We have all of the templates. Maybe it's like too heavy to load. Yeah, well, I will show you where to find templates in a minute. So for our typeface, we use 3 different typeface, and that is because the typeface that was originally intended for OUCRU is Foundry Sterling. This is the typeface that Oxford University uses. It's actually quite limited because, first of all, it's not available on all the computers. You have to buy it. Second of all, it doesn't accommodate any other language. So for Vietnamese, we have the different special characters, and for Nepali, we also have it's a different alphabet. So unfortunately, Foundry Sterling doesn't accommodate that. For basic documents, Arial would be fine because everybody have Arial. Our website actually uses Notothans. Notothans is a free Google font, and it's available on most documents online, and it accommodates Nepali as well as English and Vietnamese, as you can see in the example. So the goal is to make our work very accessible to all of our audiences, and that's why we have chosen the fonts that we choose. So OUCRU Communication SharePoint, this is the work of Eric. You can find all of the templates for all of our the presentations, flyers, posters, everything that you need on OUCRU Communication SharePoint. I'm going to share the link in an email later if you need to find it. And there's also the brand guideline document that shows you all the things that I just showed you about how to use our brand correctly to represent our brand. So the third very important part is social media policy. The first thing that I need to make clear about this section is every one of us, including myself, personally use social media. Social media use is encouraged. You are very encouraged to promote your own work. This section is not for us to say, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. This section is designed to protect you because the social media landscape is dark and full of terrors. There's a lot of trolls online. There's a lot of people that their hobbies are to taunt you online. And because of the topics of our work, infectious diseases, in the past few years, we've seen a rise in trolling on social media platforms. So this section is created so that you know that we are here to protect you. And there are safeguarding policies in place, protocols in place, if whenever something like this happened to you. So the first thing that we want to cover is OUCRU does have centrally managed accounts on these platforms. We have Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. You can find us on all these platforms, follow us, interact with us online. That's very encouraged. If you would like to promote your work on any of our official channels, please contact our communications team. Again, I'm going to share the slides and our contact after this induction so that you can always get in touch with us. We're always very happy to promote your work on these official channels. We limit the amount of people. So these are our 3 comms officers. we do limit the number of people that have access to edit and post on our official social media accounts, and that's because um, we want to protect what we say and how our brand is represented on these social media channels. Um, and then we also do limit the number of accounts, like new OUCRU accounts that you can create. So that's the reason that we don't have OUCRU TB, OUCRU malaria, OUCRU biostatistics, whatever, online, because first of all, it would dilute the brand. And second of all, it would be really, really hard to manage. So, and it would also expose us to cybersecurity risks. So we do limit the amount of new accounts that we create unless it's a completely new project, international collaboration that you would like to promote as an independent uh, entity. For example, we have Acorn, a project from here that does have its own Twitter account and branding, and that's because it's an international collaboration with many, many partners, not just OUCRU. So we do have a form that you can fill out if you want to request a new social media account. And let us know if you would like to do that, and we can provide a consultation about the steps that are needed and the considerations that you need to think about when you want to create a new social media account for an OUCRU project. So for your personal account, so this section, again, is to help you promote your work effectively while still protecting yourself. So the first thing that I want to highlight is anything that you say online, it can be interpreted as speaking on behalf of OUCRU. Especially if you have in your bio, in your LinkedIn, your Twitter, if you say, for example, Katrina on her Twitter bio says she's the grants and communication manager at OUCRU. So that means anything that she posts on Twitter, people can take a screenshot of it and say, the grants and communication manager at OUCRU says this. And we saw this a lot during COVID when people are desperate for any expert comments. Anything that you post on your personal social media accounts can be interpreted as speaking on behalf of OUCRU. So the easiest thing to protect against this is to say in your bio, the views on here are my own views. It doesn't reflect OUCRU. That's the easiest thing. But anyway, but that doesn't mean that laws won't apply to you. So this is the other thing is we are here to protect you, but the law can still get to you if you don't follow the laws. So please don't, post anything damaging to anybody online that can come back to you. Don't post anything malicious unless there's evidence, unless you're citing a research project. Always make sure that you're sure of the facts before commenting. Intellectual property law is the other thing, is if you post any photos, make sure that you have the rights to post those. Don't just download a photo from Google Image and then post them on your social media. If you're quoting anybody, please attribute them to the original person. And then please also be mindful of people's privacy, especially in the context of our work. We do work with a lot of vulnerable people, including patients, including children. So that's their privacy needs to be protected. So please don't, take any photos of the hospital that has patients in it and post them on your social media accounts, because that can come back to us. And again, please exercise common sense. This is the other thing that I was touching on, is because of the subject of our work, we do get trolled a lot on Twitter, especially if you're vocal about your work. If you are getting trolled, first of all, please know that we have protocols in place to protect you. So if you are getting trolled, please let us know. The first thing that you can do is to report a block trolling account. If you feel threatened, please report that to the police wherever you are. And you can temporarily switch your account to private to stop the harassment. And then please, let us know, and then we can provide some advice based on the context of the situation. Please do not suffer alone. We are here to help with that. So the other thing that has happened to our staff before is doxing. So doxing means when private or identifying information about a person is revealed on the internet with malicious intent. And this has happened multiple times to our staff before. This is a safeguarding issue. So the first thing that I need you to know is if you yourself are getting doxxed or you see somebody else that's working at OUCRU getting doxxed, the first thing that you need to do is to let us know very urgently, because the longer that you leave it alone, the longer this person's private information is exposed, and we don't want that. So again, please switch your account to private and report or block any accounts, and let us know, because we have protocols in place to protect your identity on our platforms. And then this is a well-being issue, so we're going to have to let HR know that so that they can do a wellness check on you. And yeah, and time is the most important factor on this. Don't just wonder what you should do. Please let us know so that we can enact the protocols that are in place to protect you. Again, this is something that has happened multiple times to multiple people in our organization. So I need to really stress this. Okay, so the fourth thing, I'm just gonna go over this section really quickly, because not everybody who work at OUCRU is gonna be interacting with the press. We do occasionally release press releases, especially if there's an important event, if there's an important report coming out. But press releases are rare, and they need to be properly checked and approved by the directors of each unit and the comms manager and our partners in each of the unit that we work with. So we don't do them very often, and when you do them, you're going to have to work very closely with the comms team to develop your press release. For media interviews, so Katrina, our comms manager, is the gatekeeper for all of OUCRU's media interviews, so that we can provide the accurate and appropriate response to all of the situations. This happened a lot during COVID. We need to make sure that of our partners and the government's position before we can answer any questions from the press. And then again, only our program director and our unit directors are authorized to speak on behalf of OUCRU, unless they appoint somebody to answer because of that person's expertise. But if you are appointed to answer on behalf of OUCRU, you need to go through mandatory media training in order to represent OUCRU. So this is also a very strict protocol in place in order to protect OUCRU's brand and authority and credibility on any certain topics. False information, or as you know them, fake news, is the other thing that we have had to deal with in our organization, especially during COVID. The vaccine, for a multitude of reasons, were quite controversial, and our research have been misinterpreted by anti-vax communities to create a few false news information articles on the these anti-vax websites. Of course, we don't want to be associated with anti-vax websites. So we also have protocols in place to respond to false information. Again, if you spot any of these online, or if your work has been misinterpreted on any website, social media, the first thing that you need to do is to let us know, because we have protocols in place to respond to this kind of information, and we will never ever directly engage with any fake news website or any tools online. We will go through the proper channels to address these information. As you can see, when one of our articles was misinterpreted, we worked with independent fact-checking organization to clarify that. And then we issue a statement on our website so that when you Google this piece of research, these are the things that first come up rather than the fake news website. So once again, if you see any of this out there, please let us know on Steam so that we can go through the proper channels to address these issues. Number 5, our digital asset management. I'm going to walk you through this in a moment. We manage a central digital asset library. And these are all big words. So I'm just going to say it's like Google Image, except we have the rights to use all of the images. So if you need any photos, videos, resources for your presentations, for your report, you can go on here and search for anything, and you would have high quality images for your reports or presentations. And we have the rights to use all of them. We own all of them. So you don't have to worry if you're violating somebody's copyrights. I'm going to walk you through that in a minute. And then the next thing that I want to highlight is each of you actually have a profile on OUCRU.org, and your profile is automatically created for you when you join OUCRU, and this is because your profile is actually linked to our publication system that we store to record the metric of our publications outputs, and you can add more information to your profile. You don't have to, but your name and position will be on our website, just so that it can be linked to our publication database. And I will show you what that looks like in a minute. But if you want to say a few words about your research interests, your projects, your adding your social media on here, you can send them to comms team and we would help you post them online. OUCRU also have a SharePoint, and this is the work of Eric. So Eric is here. I will have him walk you through the internal system.
Okay, hello everybody. I will share a little bit about the OUCRU SharePoint. So if you are a new staff in OUCRU, so you will get used to the SharePoint internet. So this is an internet. It's very useful for all OUCRU staff to find any informations like policies, SOP, or any guideline of other research support groups. So you can go to the link we will send you a little bit later after this induction. So you can find all the things that other group have developed, and that you can use that to your work, I think so. You can use next. Okay, in OUCRU SharePoint, you can see the first thing you can see is the main menu at the top. So each research support group had their own site, SharePoint site, so they put a lot of useful informations. So if you want to find something about labs or IT or health safety, they also their own they put their informations, if it is useful documents and informations on their site, so you can find there. You also can use the search tool at the top of the page to search any document that you want. For example, annual leave checking from HR, you can find there. Yeah. So I think you will get used to the SharePoint and get used to it. Yeah. Also, I am the one who delivered the OUCRU newsletters. So right now, we only have the newsletter system for OUCRU Vietnam. So you will receive a newsletter for updating information about OUCRU Vietnam for each 2 weeks, and everything about HR or visitors or anything news from other teams you will know from my bulletin. So I will send you. So in the future, maybe there's some more newsletter from other units. So let's stay tuned. Yeah, thank you, Chi.
Thank you, Eric. So that is the end of our slide. I'm gonna share my screen again. This time I'm gonna walk you through our the profile on your website. And I know Rahir is here and he hates that I use his profile as an example, but that's on you, Rahir, because it's very outdated and I like sharing updated profiles. So the first thing that you will see is the name and title. And then you will see the links to all the social media. This is not required. You can update it if you want to share. So for example, for Rahir's profile, I link it to his NDM profile, LinkedIn, Google Scholar, or is it ID, etc. You can say a few words about your expertise. You can say what is your background, and this is what I mean. I need to create a profile for you in order for the publication database to work and link properly. We can also link to all of the projects that you're working on previously, and research focus, and of course the location. So this is a very useful tool if you are applying for a grant or if you are working with international partners and collaborators. You can say, this is my work at OUCRU, please have a look. So there's value in keeping it updated. So the other thing that I want to show is our digital asset management system. This is OUCRU.canto.global, and like I said, it's like Google Images, except we own all of the images, and you don't have to. In certain cases, you have to ask for consent or permissions, but for a lot of the images here, you can use all the images. So I'm gonna do an example. The thing that I usually search for, but I have to log in first. So when you go to the portal, you have to log in. You can, if you don't have an account yet, you can click register and use your OUCRU.org email, and you will be able to sign up for a new account, and then you would be welcome to this portal. I don't usually browse. I mean, you can browse if you want to, but you can just search very general terms, and then you would be able to see like all of the assets that are available to here, and then you can sort by name, date, type, whatever. So for comms, I usually search for like lab. We are recently took really nice photos. We have a lot of like lab photos from like official visits here that are quite nice. This is a nice photo of Kennedy. Canto also has a facial recognition function that allow you to actually click on a person's face and then see all the photos from that person. So this is Kennedy. Let's see what's available, and then you would be able to see like all the photos that features Kennedy uh, here. So you need to find like I occasionally I would have to find like a photo of Guy. Um, like I would go search his name, and then there would be all of the photos that we that that has been taken of him, including ones that are like 20 years old. And I just think it's kind of funny to snoop around. Um, anyway, so it's a great asset for anybody who works at OUCRU, and if you need nice photos for anything, presentations, whatever, you can go on here and search. Um, and that is the end of my presentation. Does anybody have any questions? Okay. If not, thank you so much for being here today. Again, some of these are very important because this is why we wanted to have this to begin with, because most of these principles are to protect you because of the nature of our work. So if you need any urgent help, please let us know. We are always available. The email is on the screen, and I'm gonna reply to the invitation in a minute with all the relevant links. Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for being here today. Yeah, that's it for the presentation. Thank you.